The Crow of Deadman's Farm. In the quiet outskirts of Kansas, there lies an abandoned piece of land known to the locals as Deadman's Farm. They say the soil there never grew anything again, not since the fire. Every Halloween, people claim to see a black crow sitting on the broken fence, watching, waiting, whispering its curse through the wind. But this Halloween, something different was waiting. Jacob Miller, a young photographer from Wichita, had been chasing haunted stories for his YouTube channel. He didn't believe in curses until he set foot on Deadman's Farm. He arrived late in the evening. The sky was bruised purple, and the wind carried a chill that felt older than time itself. The gate stood open, swinging slowly as if welcoming him inside. Jacob lifted his camera. He could feel the air tighten. The fields were empty, but every few seconds he thought he heard flapping wings behind him. When he turned, nothing. Only the sound of dry corn stalks brushing together in the wind. He reached the barn, half burned, blackened from the old fire. As he stepped in, the smell of ash still lingered. He raised his flashlight and froze. On a wooden beam above him sat a crow, larger than any he had ever seen. Its feathers shimmered like oil, and its eyes, red, glowing faintly in the dark. Jacob whispered, "Hey there, buddy." The crow tilted its head, almost understanding him. Then it spoke, not in words, but in a horrid screech that echoed like a human scream. Jacob stumbled backward, dropping his camera. The flashlight flickered, and in that half-second of darkness, he saw something burned into the far wall. A message written in black soot. "You took what was mine." Jacob's heart pounded. He picked up his flashlight, his hands shaking. The crow was gone, but now there were footsteps above him. Slow, dragging footsteps across the wooden floor of the hayloft. He pointed the light upward. The boards creaked. Dust fell from above. Then, silence. He called out, "Hello? Who's there?" A whisper came from the dark corner. "The crow remembers." Jacob ran. He didn't look back. Outside, the night had changed. The moon was red, bleeding over the fields, and the fence where the crow sat before now had a shadow sitting on it. Not just the crow, a figure behind it, shaped like a man but covered in feathers. Jacob screamed, and the screen went black. Locals say they found his car the next morning, engine running, door open, camera missing. But on the barn wall, in the same black soot, another message appeared. "He will return." 3 nights after Jacob disappeared, the sheriff of Maple County received a call from a nearby gas station. A man had found something strange in the trash bin. A burned camera with a memory card melted half inside it. The name on the sticker read, "Jacob Miller." When the sheriff inserted the card into his laptop, only one file played. Static, then Jacob's trembling voice. "It's not a bird. It's him. He never died." Then the screen went black. Deputy Harris and his team drove to Deadman's Farm the next morning. The fields looked lifeless, blackened like a wound that refused to heal. As they approached the barn, a flock of crows erupted from the roof, screaming into the cold gray sky. One of the officers murmured, "God, it's like they were waiting." Inside, the air was thick with soot. Harris raised his flashlight and saw strange scratches on the walls, shapes that looked like hands and feathers. On the floor lay an old metal locket. Inside was a faded picture. A boy, maybe 12 years old, standing beside a crow with its wing outstretched. Written on the back, Eli, 1912, exposed to me. Back in town, the sheriff dug through the old records. He found a report dated October 31st, 1912. A farmer named Elias Rowe had set his own barn on fire after his son Eli was killed by a crow attack, or so he claimed. Locals believed Eli was obsessed with a crow he'd found injured in the fields. He nursed it back to health and called it Midnight. But the bird never left. It watched him even in his sleep. When Elias killed the crow to free his boy, Eli went mad and burned himself alive in the barn. That land was sold again and again, but every owner either died or vanished on Halloween. Locals named it Deadman's Farm. Night fell. Deputy Harris couldn't sleep. He kept seeing that picture of the boy and the crow. He decided to go back, alone. When he reached the farm, fog rolled across the fields like breathing smoke. His flashlight barely cut through it. The barn door was open. Inside, a single black feather lay on the floor, gleaming wet, like fresh ink. He picked it up. From above came the sound of wings. Not bird wings, but something heavier, wet and ragged. He aimed his light up. On the beam stood a figure, half man, half crow, its head tilted at an unnatural angle, eyes burning red. It whispered in a child's voice, "Father burned me, but I still fly." The creature leapt forward. The camera fell. The recording ended with a scream and a loud flap of wings. A week later, locals found a new crow nest on the barn's roof. Inside it was Harris's badge and a single human tooth. The farm was sealed again, but every Halloween night, people say you can see a child's shadow walking the fields, followed by a crow that never stops screaming. Silence.